My daughter for adoption at 19. Should I tell her I'm her birth?
Oh, should you reach back out and tell her? Is that what she's trying to say?
I feel like there's so many factors that go into this. It's not as simple like yes.
Such a nuanced topic, it's a very compacted question, full of ins and outs and small nuances, very nuanced, and I'm very big on nuances. So I don't think it's very black and white. In a word of black and white, I think it's very gray. And when you ask me a blanket question, should I, yes or no, I think you're removing and diluting the true nuance and the true subjectivism in this topic. I think it's a very deep rooted question, deep rooted in the ground. And I think we need to go out and have tea and really sit down and really just think about what's really going on and have serious talks and serious looks and, hard looks out the window while it's raining and, big pride filled hugs and deep exhales and, in a collaborative effort with a room full of people that, are loved ones. And once we do all of those things, I think that, I think we should flip a coin.
Something like this could really like shake their whole world. And are you healthy? Are you healthy enough to be in her life right now? And it's just a lot.
I'm kind of in the middle because like if the child wants to reach out to know their birth mom, 100%.
I think that perhaps she should have a conversation with the parents first and make sure that they know and then getting their consent, basically.
I see my 11-year-old daughter often, and she doesn't know I'm her birth mom.
Oh, you see? She didn't even really explain it correctly. Like, I didn't really know what was going on. So you're in her life. She just don't know that you're her mom. So this is like this Christmas type stuff. Kinda though. Kinda not really though. Cause it's like you think that's your sister when it's really your mom, and you think your mom is really you think your grandma is really your mom. But I guess we're revealing more information as we go. So that being said, as an 11-year-old, I'm thinking in my 11-year-old mind, I would definitely want to know. Cause it's like to a certain extent, you don't even really know who you are. Like to a certain extent, you don't really know who you come from. And it's like me knowing my parents, like I see a lot of myself in them. Like it explains a lot of like why I am the way I am, or why like when I see my mom interact, like I know, like it makes sense of why I do the things that I do. Or when I see my dad move the way that he moves, like it starts to make a lot of sense. And at 11, I was already like small, like minutely piecing those things together, like understanding like who I am, why I am the way that I am. And like it allowed me to, it allowed me to develop as a human more when I actually knew my parents and I knew myself, and I was like connecting those dots.
Ooh. Does that change any of your minds?
Absolutely. That's wild.
So after hearing that she's 11 years old, I changed my mind because she's young. If she had been 18, and it'd be a different story. But
I think I want to go over here. It's the 11 part that's
I'm like you. I'm like in the middle.
It's very much in the middle.
Because
I'm coming over. She's so young, and to like get thrown that information at 11, it could go negatively, positively, and I feel like.
Well, if we take out the age and we say, because we didn't say yes, tell her this week. So how would y'all feel about telling her, when she's 18 or whatever, just at any point?
What is this obsession with like 18? I feel like we're brainwashed with 18. Just because you can do certain things at 18, and that's the number that the government uses to decipher when you're old enough to do certain things, or 21, like you don't really know like how they're gonna react. So it's just like, why wait till you're 18? Just understanding my genetics, understanding my family. Like I have aunts and uncles, like, that I understand, okay, certain genes came from over here. Like I'm taller than both my parents, but both of my grandfathers are like 6'2". I'm not, I'm like 5'11", 6 foot. So it's like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Like just little things like that allow you to understand a little bit more about who you are and like what blood is in you and like the little things that you see in yourself.
But think of yourself like as an 11-year-old and think of yourself as like a 17, 18-year-old finding it out. I personally would rather find out at 11 than 18.
Thank you.
Then I would get more upset.
I'm gonna switch. I'm gonna switch. When I think about 11, she's still innocent. She still got that innocence in her. By the time she's 13, our periods, our boobs are coming, our minds are, we already got enough problems at 13, okay?
How I see it is I did have an 11-year-old boy that I had in my life who was asked to be put into me and my ex-husband's life. And he knew everything, and how he saw it is he was happy that there was somebody else who loved him. Why is it a bad thing that there is another person who loves this little girl so much that she wanted to give her a better life? Why not give that positive aspect to her? Like, I am another person who loves you and has been watching out for you from afar, like a guardian angel.
If I reveal my identity, my birth daughter could possibly have a relationship with her half brother, my 10-month-old.
You see, bruh, it's not just about you messing up the tree. Like, bruh, you messing up the come on now. You messing it up. It's one thing if you put her up for adoption and you don't even know her, but you already have a relationship with her. So it's just like nothing necessarily has to change. Like, you don't have to be more financially responsible or anything like that, but just to give her the option to know who her family is. Like, she got a little brother, like she could change her little brother's life. Come on, yo.
At this point, does that change anyone's minds?
Come on, she know.
Being a parent, and I went through surrogacy, but possibly have gone through adoption before. And even when we were going through adoption, we were always like, yes, we're always going to tell this kid where they come from, who their parents are, so that we can be open and communication.
Right.
But that was our decision in the process being a parent. So these parents now who have taken over the adoption, they have a right to be able to say whether or not they want to know.
Yeah, I second that. I feel like a huge part of identity is just knowing where you come from, and it's almost counterproductive to her growth and her development to like not be enlightened of like where she comes from,
I moved because I'm personally adopted, and I don't know how I would feel knowing that my birth mom was in my life for so long and knowing I was adopted and just like having all those questions and just not getting the answers and my mom lying to me. So I just feel like if you're open and honest now, it's better.
They'll understand, but it's not traumatizing as much as like 18 and you already got your life going.
Exactly.
Right.
And you did it for a reason, I assume. Like, I believe my birth mom put me up for adoption because she couldn't take care of me. And I have this amazing life now because of that decision. Of course, there was some resentment and like, you didn't want me, da-da-da. But like, when I got older and stuff, I realized that it was all for the best of me. And that's also a big thing. So kudos to you. That was definitely a hard decision, I believe.
As someone who has 3 half siblings, who I love with all my heart, but like I wish I had a stronger relationship with them and did not get to grow up with them, I feel like adding that value to the child's life would be amazing.
I think what keeps me here, like I like what a lot of you guys are saying and what we're saying too. This needs to include the parents, because the child could also have other brothers and sisters in the child's new family.
I specifically chose a gay couple, so she has 2 dads, with the intention of not having the issue of the mother later, because I knew I wanted to be in her life. I have gotten permission from them multiple times and was given that as like one of the criterias of the adoption, and I am treading extremely lightly around them, and they just continue to choose to not tell her.
I think naturally she's gonna have questions about her mom. She's getting to the age where like she's gonna hit puberty and be like, oh, you guys don't know about periods. How do I do this? What?
He don't like that. He said, that's subject. That's a very, come on now, that's a very nuanced subject. That's very subjective, and that's your opinion. I respect your opinion. I just respectfully disagree. I know plenty about periods. I just personally disagree. That's cool. That's her opinion. But me, I do know my fair share of about periods. I do know my way around the block, if you know what I'm saying. He didn't like that. You saw his face?
How do I do this? What female?
I don't think you should say that. That's problematic. You can't say just because they're two gay guys that they don't know that they won't be able to, be able to tell her how to take care of herself.
That's true. Sure I meant like the way, like
I would hope so.
Like putting in a tampon.
Yeah, I mean that's what they signed up for, to
that's
have
true.
A little girl,
is
to show her how to take care of herself.
I'm curious, what is their reason for not wanting to let you tell them?
They haven't given me one. I've been told it will happen. Multiple times it's been, oh, she's starting to ask questions. We should sit down and talk about it. And then when I set up the meeting, we don't discuss it.
Okay, that changes my mind. I think that's not fair that they're not giving a time frame for you. I plan to have kids myself too, and I'm not going to lie to them. Two guys, we can't make a child. So I'm going to say, there is a woman that is your mom.
I'm gay, and I have a husband, and I have 2 daughters. Our 2 girls know everything. We've told them everything. They know everything. I don't know the reason why they're not telling her. All I know is that as a gay man who has 2 daughters and who are constantly, having comments like that come to us like, oh, what are you going to do when they turn 13? Because, you don't know. You're not a woman. You don't know these things. I have many strong women in our lives, like my husband and I, and we're going to lean on them when that happens. But
do y'all think if her daughter watched this as an 11-year-old, if she watched this video, you think she would be able to piece everything together? Like if I'm in the 6th grade and I see this video and I see her face, because they're showing 733, they're showing the bottom of her face and they're showing her physique. Right? And it's like, they're showing the bottom of her face, though. Like, if you're a 6th grader who has even decent skills in terms of, thinking, you say, hey, wait a minute, I'm 11. Hold on, wait a minute. Hold on. I'm about to piece this. Hold on, we about to get to the bottom of this. Hold on, let me think, because you talking too much. Let me think. I can't think when you talking. Shut up. All right. So I'm 11, right? Okay. Check. I have 2 gay parents. Check. Okay. That lady, that friend of the family, that friend of the parents looks exactly like the lady that I know, and she has the exact same physique. Right? She's a bigger woman, respectfully. She's a light-skinned woman. Wait a minute. Hold on. We might be on to something. Cause I'm 11, gay, and then friend of the family that looks like me, and we have very similar. We so happen. I thought it was coincidental. But we so happen to have very similar features. And she has a relationship with her. Right? Because it's just like, if she didn't have a relationship with her and she was watching this, she'd be like, well, I guess that could be anybody. The 11, the age, for me, the age with ding, 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 ding. I'm like, okay, my radar is up. Right? It could be anybody, but they're showing the face. They're giving a lot of clues. They're giving the 11-year-old has the opportunity. If they see this video, Jubilee is low-key giving them the opportunity to figure out what's going on. Jubilee is actually throwing the alley-oop off the backboard, if you think about it. Because, they're showing the bottom of her face. They're not doing a very good job of blurring out. Her face is kind of blurred, but they're showing her face, her physique. They didn't blur out her voice like they did in the other ones. Her voice is not blurred. That is a very, you can detect that voice. They're giving out age. They're giving out who the gay parents is. They're giving out so many clues. They are giving out so many clues. Jubilee is trying to give the 11-year-old a chance to get on top of it. Now they can't, now probably legally binding in the contract. You can't just outright say what you want to say, but we go to court. Well, we did what we can do. We didn't show our face. We didn't say any names. I mean, we tried. But Jubilee, I see what y'all doing. Y'all very good. Y'all very deceptive. I see what's going on.
That 11-year-old to be approached by you and say, I'm your mom, in her eyes, yes, that would be fantastic. But those two guys are now going to be looked at as someone that this little girl cannot trust anymore. And that's what's getting me.
If you were to tell her without their permission, right, what would be the aftermath of that?
Well, I would never, just like you're saying, they do have strong women around them already. I never want to assert my dominance because I gave up that right, and I gave them the option to choose which women they want in their lives to fill that kind of motherly role.
I have one quick question for you. I just want to ask more clarity as someone who doesn't have that perspective. Why do you think the child would lose trust potentially in the parents?
I think it's a huge thing to keep.
I mean, when you find out Santa Claus isn't real, it kind of hurts your feelings a little bit, but I mean, I get it. When you figure out your parents are human and they be lying and shit, when I figured out my mom be lying and my dad, they're both just humans, everybody lies, right? But when I figured out, they be lying, they just straight up be lying, I was I was kind of mad, because I'm you're a sinner. I was kind of just mad, you know what I mean? I guess I had this expectation of them being perfect or whatever. I don't really know exactly what I thought. I have to sit down and think about the things that I thought, or go back to things that I wrote down. But when I figured out my parents lied and they just did regular human stuff, I was kind of pissed. So I'm y'all was lying to me. I did this, I did that. And so when somebody tell you, I guess when you feel like somebody's keeping something important from you, that kind of pisses, for me, especially something that directly affects me, and you're withholding information from me that's gonna be life-changing, especially something that I feel is gonna be beneficial. I can't really see you the same, honestly, especially from that age. Me, I was on that at that age. I'm oh, you moving like this? All right, so I'm moving like this. I'm not even gonna say nothing. I'm just gonna move like this. You know what I'm saying? There's certain things I was done where I felt, right or wrong, I'm not even saying I was right. I just felt like somebody was moving like this, so I'm moving like this. I'm not even gonna say nothing. I'm not gonna confront, because I don't really care for confrontation, but I'm moving different. You move how you know what I'm saying? I made it clear about how I feel about the way that you're moving. You're continuing to move how you move. I'm not gonna re-up on that. I'm just gonna move different. You're yo, why you moving like that? I don't know. Oh well. Everybody moving how they want to move. Everybody satisfied? Good. So something like that, I'm oh yeah, I could never really see you the same, fully, if you don't, especially if you don't tell me. If I gotta find out from somebody else, you've already withheld it from me long enough to where I feel I can't really trust you, because you're not being honest about what's going on. What are why are you withholding that from me? Regardless, you should, it's from the moment that I can talk, you should be telling me yo, this is your mother, this is your birth mother. But you waited till I was 11, and that's if you tell me. If you tell me, I could hold on to something. I could give you the benefit of the doubt. I could give you the benefit of the doubt and be you know what? I see where he was coming from, but at the end of the day, he fessed up and he owned it. You know what? He probably did what he felt was best for me, and he owned. I could still hold on to some type of trust. You know what I mean? Because we don't all make the right decisions, but if I feel like your intentions are right, if I feel like you have good intentions for me, I could hold on to that. But if somebody else got to tell me, it'd be oh, we was going to tell you. Don't ever say that. I want to hear that. I want to hear that. It's kind of I'm good off that. The energy is forever shifted.
This away from her. I think an 11-year-old is very smart. It's just very concerning to me that, that this huge thing that will impact this little 11-year-old girl's life doesn't come from her two dads. And will come from you. And I'm sure you're a wonderful person. You have all the great intent in the world, but I think that needs to be made by the two dads.
Your story was very moving, right? Because I want to be a father one day. If I were you, I'd be more assertive and get a time frame, say, okay, well, let's kind of flesh this out.
I agree on that. I do think she should be told, but I think she should be told by her parents.
I think there's very unclarity of what
Let's ask.
Let's wait 1 minute. Aurora, what's your thought process here?
I have firm faith that they will meet you halfway and you'll be able to have that moment, but you can't do it on your own.
If I were to put myself in your daughter's positions, because I also am adopted, if my birth mom came to me and was like, I'm your mother, and my parents knew and didn't tell me first, that's where I feel like the
energy is
old.
old.
Do you feel like you want to be her mother again? Is that part of your intention?
No. I'm a huge ally, and I chose gay dads because I knew that she would be loved what I wasn't able to do at the time.
Whoa, that kind of changes things a little bit. Because she says she don't want to be her mother, which I get. But, what kind of relationship are you going to have with her? Right? Because it's all right, I'm your mother, but, still, stay over there type shit. We're cool. We're buddies. You know what I'm saying? We're cool. But, chill, though. Don't be doing all that lovey-dovey stuff. I'm not on that with you. I give you away. I passed the rock. I made my read. You know what I'm saying? You're not in my hands no more. Now, if you're not going to introduce me to my cousins, my uncles, and my aunties, then what good are you really? What are we really doing here? If you're not going to show me who my family is, and you're not going to have, if you're not going to be, what extent are you, what is the extent of your relationship going to be? Because if it's going to be the exact same, it's going to be a friend of the family, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's just what are we really doing at that point? We just being lukewarm. That's what I see. It's just kind of a lukewarm type energy. I'd rather you be hot or cold. Lukewarm, I will spit you out. Come on. I'm just trying to imagine, my mom coming to me I'm your mother, but whoop, I'm not really on that. You don't get to come over for Thanksgiving. You got a family. I'm just letting you know. Because I feel like you should know, you have the right to know. But in terms of you meeting your aunties and your cousins and your uncles and your nieces and nephews, nah, you good. You don't really get to do all that. You know what I'm saying? You not really. So if it's not going to be if you're not going to really embrace her to a certain extent, then I don't really see the point in saying anything. Honestly.
Thank you for that.
And
awesome.
Yeah. But I don't have their perspective at all. I'm a cis heterosexual woman, and I haven't gone through anything that they've gone through.
I switched because I don't think it's a good idea for her to tell her daughter. I don't think that's okay, because then she will be like, you lied to me my whole life, to her dads, and she's hearing it from her. But at the end of the day, it's not it can't be the end and be all for the rest of her life, though, at the same time. So, yeah, somebody's got to tell her.
I get it. I'm trying to understand the perspective because, you feel either one, they may not feel as loved, or just why don't they want me? You don't necessarily want them to feel that type of way. You just want them to have a nice, cohesive, coherent, easy flowing childhood. You don't want them to be dealing with all of these questions at a young age, and it makes sense. I get it. I get it. I don't think it's a necessarily harmful thing. And then also you kind of lose some leverage. Some kids be on the yo, you're not my dad. You're not my father. You don't want to feel, disconnected from who you feel is your child. We're blood, not blood. The energy you got is, that's my son or that's my daughter. I don't really care what nobody's talking about. You feel me? But you may lose a little bit of that connection. But ultimately, honestly though, if the kid is on that, then the kid is on that. Like, all you can do is express love. At the end of the day, if you if you showing love, then that's it. Like, that's all that really matters. So if he don't so they probably afraid like, oh, he's not gonna really like me the same, or he may not love me the same because I'm not as. Listen, man, like, I feel like that's a risk you got to take, and for selfish reasons, because I'm sure a lot of the reasoning is for selfish reasons. Like, what if they think of me different? And it's just like, you gotta show love. You gotta be there. If you're the best parent you can be, and if you're showing real authentic love, you gotta live with the results. You gotta live with the results. It's the same thing as a relationship when it's like, let's just say, for example, you're afraid to do or say certain things, or you're in a relationship and you don't want to tell her the truth because of how she might perceive you, or you don't want to tell her how you really think or how you really feel because of how she might perceive you, or be honest about your opinions. Like, if you showing real authentic love and it goes south, then you gotta be able to live with the results at the end of the day. You can't be so panicky. You can't be so outcome oriented, trying to manufacture. You gotta just be like, yo, win or lose, I'm playing these cards. These are the cards that I believe. These are the cards that I've been dealt. I'm gonna stay honest and true to these cards. And if it don't work, it don't work. You know what I'm saying? You gotta eat up.
Just that trust issue is just so huge for me as a parent.
Definitively, they're lying.
Yeah.
And
that's what I'm saying. But like, you've already put yourself in a position where you're losing leverage. You're losing that trust leverage. Trust is built on the idea of like, yo, win, lose, or draw. Like, I could trust you. Like, when it comes down to it, like, I know that that's something I could rely on. Right? And it's just like certain situations that you do to yourself because of whatever you think you're trying to do, you're losing that leverage. And if that leverage is something that's actually important to you, you need to exercise that leverage of trust. Right? Initially, she was giving it, she gave you the trust off rip. Yo, you tell her to do something, she probably was doing it. She probably a good kid. Yo, go brush your teeth. I don't really know why I'm brushing my teeth, but she said to brush my teeth. I mean, I guess. Right? Eat your vegetables. I don't really know what these vegetables got in them. They taste trash, but I mean, he telling them to eat it. He telling me to eat them. So, and I trust him. So it must be something good behind it. Because I know him, and because he never steered me wrong before. Right? But now, once the truth come out, it's like, yo, what's in these vegetables? Like, I don't know. Like, what? Talk to me about these vegetables. I'm not really feeling these vegetables. I'm gonna keep it a stat. I ain't really feeling these vegetables. You know what I'm saying? Like, take a shower. Brush my teeth. I don't know about that. Go to school. I'm not really feeling school. And, I don't really know. I don't know what you're telling me. I don't know what's going on. You could be telling me to go to school. School could be a scam. You telling me I'm your, you my parents. And you knew. So now I don't know what to trust. I can't even decipher. Because I wasn't trusting you based on logic. I wasn't trusting you saying, well, I trust him and the evidence is adding up. I wasn't even looking at, I respected you to the point where I wasn't even looking at the evidence. I was just giving you straight up raw benefit of the doubt. Unprotected benefit of the doubt. Right? You had the trust and then you did what you wanted to do with the trust. Right? Right or wrong. I'm not even saying you're right or wrong. I'm just saying you did what you wanted to do with the trust. I don't know intentions. I don't know what the right answer is, but you did what you wanted to do with the trust. Now you gotta live with the results. I don't know if I can really jack what you say the same. Like, I might be obedient, but like the energy won't be there.
You have to put yourself in the position of being lied to. When are they going to be ready?
She kept talking about her needs, right? If she tells the kid before the parents do, the parents can fully be like, I don't trust you anymore.
The whole point is for her to stand her ground. Setting all morals aside, it's legally binding that they have to tell her.
She doesn't see the whole 360-degree picture in that house, what's discussed. And so for her to come in and just reveal this huge amount of news can be very, very life damaging to the little girl.
I think my last piece of advice to you is definitely be strong in what you want. Be direct. Redirect the conversation if you have to. If you have to take initiative, take it, because I will say when I did it, I regretted it for the rest of my life. And I don't want you to live through that.
You're amazing for doing what you did. I respect you for that, for specifically, placing them in that place. But I also think that there's a lot more people involved and not just you. You owe it to her to be honest and to be trust and to be patient. And you owe it to them to be patient. It's been 11 years. I think you can be patient a little longer and let the dads do it on their time. They said that they will, and I think that should be respected.
Right. Paige, have you made your decision?
Yes.
You are great. You are so great.